to Blood, Sweat and Metal, and it's an absolutely awesome pleasure. We have got one of the biggest artists that ever been on our show, and it's Hellyeah, Vinnie Paul. Good morning, Vinnie Paul.
Hey, how you doing, man?
Good, man, and it's an absolutely awesome pleasure, man, and we cannot wait for you guys to come to Australia off the back of the latest album that came out last year. You're looking forward to coming down to Australia?
Oh, man, we're so excited, man. It's been a while. It's been like 5 years since we've been down there, you know. We've been trying to get back, but things haven't worked out. But this time around with Blood for Blood, everything fell in line, and so we're super excited to come down and play Australia as well as New Zealand.
Yeah, and also, from that last album, it was very, very well put together. You also got a bit attached to that album, especially with the song Moth. You want to tell the fans down under a bit about that song Moth, because that really did come home for you guys.
I just think, you know, everything fell into place with us when we, you know, we had to get rid of a couple of band members that were weighting us down, and myself and Tom and Chad were really able to focus and write the best songs possible, and Moth was just one of those ones that just kind of magically happened, you know, and it's a great song. You know, it's about not making the same mistake in Life's Life, which is a great, you know, thing for people to hear and people can relate to, you know, going through different things, different addictions, this, that, and the other. And it's just one of those songs that's, you know, really done well for us. It's done great at American radio, and, you know, we just finished playing over in Europe, and it was one of the best received songs that we played over there. So that was just, you know, every now and then you get those gems on every each record that you make, you know, certain songs that stand out the most, and that's one of them.
Yeah. I want to ask, as a creative perspective, how different was this album compared to the other albums? I mean, you guys have done about all that hard work with the other albums that you have done leading up to this new album last year. But as a creative side, how different was this album compared to those other ones leading into the recording studio?
Honestly, not very much different. You know, we did the demos at my house, which we had done with all the previous records, and me and Tom basically wrote all the music. But the only thing that was different is we worked with Kevin Cherko, who was an outside producer, and the first time we'd ever brought somebody in to be a part of what we'd done, you know, and we really, really loved working with him. He totally understood what we were all about, where we were wanting to go with the record sonically, where we were wanting to go with it with the songs, and he just helped us paint the perfect picture, you know. So it was a really great working with him, but it really, at the end of the day, it wasn't that much different from what it was with the previous records that I had produced.
When you play the new songs live for the very first time, do you get caught in the motions as well? Because I know when bands bring out new material and it doesn't quite win the audience over, do you get lost in that emotion sometimes when the new material does win the crowd over?
Oh, it's great. You know, this record's been very well received, and playing the songs live, you know, that's what it's all about at the end of the day. But when you're in the studio and you're writing them and you're recording them, you know, you first of all are writing the best song you can write, but secondly, you can only envision how it's going to move the audience, you know. And so being able to play them live and to see the audience react or to sing along or to move to the song is definitely a special thing.
I know you're a Magic Kiss fan, and I know there's been a bit of a statement from Gene Simmons last year about that rock and roll is dead. In my opinion, I think the industry is dying. I just want your opinion on that. How do you see the music business today compare 20, 30 years ago?
Oh, it's definitely a different beast, you know. It's not quite the massive thing that it was once back in the day, but it's still great, and it's still, you know, at the end of the day, it's about music, you know. And as far as Kiss goes, you know, I just played 4 shows with them over in Europe. I thought they were absolutely awesome. I love that band. I've been a huge fan. And then I also got to see an Ace Frehley show while I was over there, too, you know, so it was great. I'm glad they're all still going strong. And, you know, I think music is timeless. It'll never go away, you know, so to each his own. Everybody has their own opinions. But, you know, heavy metal is still just as strong today as it was back then to me, man.
You guys just finished doing a couple of festivals just recently for Hellyeah. How do you see that? I mean, a lot of bands nowadays do festivals instead of doing their own headline gig. Is there a bit of a mix and match between the two? Because a lot of bands nowadays, especially when they bring a new album, they do a lot of festival dates in the summer. But down in Australia, we hardly get that down here. We do have one festival called Soundwave, but that's about it. How do you compare the difference between doing a headline tour and a festival tour?
I love them both, man. You know, the headline tour, obviously, the fans are there to see you, and it's all about your music and your band, which is very special. But the festivals, you get to touch so many other people, and there's so many great bands that are part of it, that those are very special and awesome events, too, you know. So I love them both. You know, when we were over in Europe, I really embraced getting to do the headline shows because we got to play an hour, hour and a half every night. But the festival shows were special, too. You know, some of those we only played 30, 35 minutes. But getting to see all these bands that you grew up with and people that you've known through the years is very special. And to play to that many people, you know, download 80,000 people, you know, is pretty amazing, hard to beat, you know. So I like them both. I'm really looking forward to doing the Australia and New Zealand tour because it is our headline tour. You know, we're doing a lot of dates. We're not just coming to play 2 shows and leaving. We're trying to hit just about all of Australia and 3 dates in New Zealand, which is, you know, we haven't done that ever. So we're really excited about it and getting to play longer and play our own songs. And that's what it's all about.
Yeah. Vinnie, I do have one Pantera question, and no, it's not about a reunion or anything like that, because that's been long, truly done and buried. I'm sick and tired of hearing about it. But the album, the albums before Cowboy of Hell, you guys did do a bit of a glam metal type of album. The fans basically asked me, would those albums be re-released as a remastered set, or have you got any plans of bringing them out as a dual box set later down the track?
You know, we really don't. You know, they've been bootlegged so many times, and there's so many hack versions of them out there. I just don't think it really is, you know, anything that fans in general be interested in. It's just it's part of our past, you know. So if you really want it, there's plenty of those bootlegs floating around out there, but there's not really any reason for us to try to capitalize on it and, you know, re-release them and then make a big deal out of it.
Yeah. Yeah, because down in Australia, we probably didn't even hear anything prior to Cowboys from Hell, and a lot of fans do say that Cowboys from Hell is the first official album, but I do know there was about 3 or 4 albums before that. I just want to know if that was going to come out later on down the track, like as a remastered set or re-polished up, I don't know. But if it doesn't, well, so be it. If it does, great. But going back to Hellyeah, you guys have just developed from album to album, being stronger and stronger as it goes along. And especially the latest album, from my perspective as being a fan and also doing the podcast as well, what I got out of this was another storytelling. A lot of stuff that really caught my attention was the way that it basically carried me on a journey from start to finish. I want to ask, there couldn't be any other way to describe it, because this is the final product. It was what it is. But was there any other songs that could have made the album that didn't quite make the cut at the end?
Well, you know, at the end of the day, there was 2 extra tracks. One of them was called Feast or Famine, which actually ended up on a B-side on the Japanese release. And the other track, we just ran out of time. We never got around to finishing it, but we thought it was just as strong as the stuff on the record, you know. But the record, it really is focused, and it really does feel like what you said, you know, a roller coaster, man. It takes you on peaks and valleys, up and down, and it's very heavy, and it's very intense, and then it's very melodic, and you know, there's deep passages and stuff. So it is a complete record to us, and it's one of those records to me that really lures you in from start to finish. You know, you don't want to hit the skip button and go to the next one. And when I've been doing my interviews, you know, since the record's been out, when people will talk about, like, December, that's the last song on the record, and usually most people don't even get to the last song on the record. Yeah. So that tells me that they've listened to it and they've really been into it, you know. So that's very special. And we feel like it's our best record to date, and we're looking forward to getting in the studio and working on Hellyeah CD number 5 and see if we can top it, man.
And it's awesome to see how Chad has developed as a singer. I mean, from what he did in Mudvayne compared to what he's doing now for you guys at Hellyeah, it really shows his craftsmanship as a singer, how he's just gone from strength to strength.
Oh, yeah. He's really become the complete thing, you know. He stopped drinking, he stopped smoking, you know. He really got very, very focused on not only writing, you know, lyrics that are very personal and mean something to him, but being a better singer and being a better performer on stage. You know, I'm really, really proud to be in a band with him. He gives it everything he's got every night. And, you know, I don't think there's another singer out there that can top what he does, man.
Yeah. And every time I see him, he's just like an energizer buddy. He doesn't want to stop. As soon as he finishes one show, he wants to go on and do the next. But somehow, you guys got to stop and relax sometimes and hit the road again and get on the next day somewhere in the world. But you guys have just got full of energy right now. Was that always there, that chemistry between you guys when you started out? Because I know where you came from, I know where Chad came from, but the other guys that's been in the band, was that chemistry always there to be fully energized?
I think when we first started with the first 2 records, we had a great chemistry, and the band really, really worked together. But I think when we got to Band of Brothers is when, you know, things started getting sideways with Greg and Bob, and I think that they really lost their focus. And we knew that we had to make a change, you know, and bringing Kyle and Christian in was the best thing that ever happened, man. The band is really so much more focused. The talent level has gone to another level. You know, everybody's great players, great singers, and can really complement each other, you know, and it really does feel like we're a brotherhood again, a family. You know, everybody gives it everything they got every night. Everybody fights as hard as they can for everything, and you know, we don't want to leave any sweat off that stage. You know, we want it all to come out when we go out there, and when we're done, we're done. We're ready to go to the next town and do it.
Yeah, and like I said, congratulations to you guys on the latest album, because here in Australia, it really did take off real well. We did come behind it and support it. We went out and buy it and whatnot. Are you surprised by that, or you knew this was going to happen no matter what? That the support behind this album was going. Yep.
You always want to be as successful as possible, unless you just don't give a fuck, you know. And you know, we expected the record to do well, but you know, you never know with the way things have changed in the music industry and stuff if it's going to, you know. So for it to be received as well as it has been really, really inspiring to us, and something that we really fed off of and really enjoyed, and it's made us play that much better and that much harder on the live stage when we're up there. And come October, when it's time to get back in the studio after we come down and play for you guys, we're going to give it our best to make the next record better than this, you know?
Yeah. I mean, just as a music perspective of this, I mean, you guys have got it all. I mean, there's nothing that you cannot say about Hellyeah because it's not enough. But as a collective perspective, this album had just gave a new polish in the music as we know today, because I'm a little bit like this with the music today. It's great when it's great, and it's crap when it's crap. But I think you've got to be a bit more open to the new material, because I know a lot of fans nowadays have got their blinkers on. If it's not this style of music, they will not listen to it. Do you see that as well?
There's a lot of people out there that are narrow-minded and don't want to give certain things a shot. And, you know, I think we dealt with that a lot with the first couple of Hellyeah records. But I think, you know, like you said, with the Blood for Blood record, it is the ultimate Hellyeah sound, and it really has helped to establish the band and knock down any barriers that were there. And naysayers, you know, people that weren't into the band or didn't really care for the band, now have listened to the record and really have started to embrace us and accept the band and understand what we're all about. So it's been a very pivotal record for us, for sure.
Mm. Well, going on the tour, you added a couple of dates over in New Zealand, Auckland, Wellington and Christchurch. And this is just awesome, because every time there's a tour down in Australia, we got our neighbours over in New Zealand, so what about the New Zealand? And it's great to see that Hellyeah has put in a few dates for the New Zealand fans, because you wouldn't do Australia without New Zealand, they say.
Oh yeah, man, we are just as excited to play New Zealand as we are Australia, and it looks like we're going to tag a few Japanese dates on the end of it too, which is going to be awesome. But to be able to come down there and spend 2 weeks in that part of the world is really important, especially since we haven't been there in about 5 years. So to play for the Kiwis and the Australians all at the same time is going to be fucking amazing, man. I'm really, really pumped about it.
Yeah, and it just, I'm just thrilled just to see Hellyeah in Adelaide on the 25th of on the 25th, and it just going right through to the 31st over in Perth. You're coming to Australia, New Zealand. It's starting on the 20th of August, and it's going right through the 31st of August. And there is VIP meet and greets at metropolistouring.com, and that's where all the tour tickets are available. And I just want to say this. I remember seeing Pantera in Melbourne at the Festival Theatre, and that was just an insane concert that night.
Oh yeah, man. I always loved playing in Australia and New Zealand. It didn't matter whether it was with Pantera or nowadays with Hellyeah. It's a great place to go. I love the people there. They remind me of Texas. They like the barbecue. They like to drink it. They like their music hard, heavy, and fast, man. So we're looking forward to getting down there again, man.
Yeah. Well, just before we let you go, is there any last things you'd like to say to the fans down under?
Oh, man, they've been absolutely fantastic. They've always been great to me. It didn't matter what band I've been a part of. They've always shown love, and thank you for always showing the love to my brother and carrying the torch for Dimebag. He will never die. He's always part of what we do, and I just really, really thank the fans for continuing to, embrace his legacy, man. It's a beautiful thing.
Yep. All right, fans, the latest album, Blood for Blood, is in our stores. Been in our stores for over close to 12 months. And go to JB Hi-Fi and go to all your independent record outlets around Australia if you haven't got the album. Also, if you're planning on going to the tour, please get your tickets at metropolistouring.com. I do believe there are some, if not minimal, VIP still remaining through metropolistouring.com. And please go and check Hellyeah out at a city near you. It's just going to be an absolutely awesome show, and we cannot wait. Vinny, we cannot wait for you guys to hit to Australia in a couple of months, and it's going to be an absolutely awesome time to see you personally, and also tearing up their drums and their skins.
Hell yeah, man. Looking forward to it. Cheers, and we'll see you guys in about 2 months, man. Hell yeah.
All right, then. Thanks for that.